So Marvel. Now I know some of you think that Endgame was basically the end, and in some ways it was, and maybe in some ways it should have been. I mean, after you do 23 movies and you finally get to the culmination of the Infinity Saga, like where are you supposed to go? I don't know if that streak can be replicated. Anyway, regardless, Marvel just put out a new video. It was basically a video going, hey everyone, don't worry, we're not leaving theaters. We're still going to have movies in theaters. We know COVID kind of screwed everything up, but we're going to come back. So they put out a video called Marvel Celebrates the Movies. And it starts off with like, oh, they got like a shot of a crowd. It's like, hey, remember these? Remember what life used to be like a couple years ago when Endgame was out? And then it just kind of does a montage of all their greatest hits, best moments from their movies. They got shots of stuff like Tony and Peter hugging from Endgame, and a shot of the Avengers in Age of Ultron. Playing over the video is a Stan Lee speech, or it's a quote or something, but it sounds like some kind of speech he's giving. I don't know, the presentation on this video is kind of weird. It was just them putting their foot down and planting their flag, saying, we're not going to just put everything that we have on Disney+. I mean, that remains to be seen. If COVID is still a problem for years to come, in terms of getting people to actually go to the theater, then they're going to have no choice but to continue releasing it in theaters and on Disney+. So then it had this message after like the montage. It has a message interspersed with these images that says, we go to escape, get lost in a story, to feel connected, to share moments we will remember forever. It's real like cheesy Hallmark Channel stuff. And it's got more images like Cap and Peggy kissing at the end of Endgame. I did like how they actually included a shot from inside a theater of people reacting to Endgame. That was pretty cool. It was actually Marvel acknowledging that people like that experience and they don't want it to go away. And then it just gets to the meat and potatoes of this video, which is just to tell you what Phase 4 is. And we basically already knew what Phase 4 was, but now we have actual concrete dates for some of these things. And we got some new footage for some stuff that we hadn't seen before. So they showed Black Widow again, which the movie that will never release. That's finally coming out July 9th. Personally, I'm not super interested in it because her story's done and it's a prequel. So I'm very curious to see how well it's going to do. And then it showed some more new footage from Shang-Chi. That's another movie I really have no interest in. I kind of liked some of Iron Fist on Netflix. I liked the idea of the show. Some of the execution was not great, but this seems like they're almost like their apology for that show because they did him dirty. So then they reaffirmed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings September 3rd. And then we finally see some footage from Eternals, which we hadn't seen yet. It was starting to get a little concerning that they hadn't shown any footage of it. And that was, a lot of these things were supposed to come out last year, but with everything that happened this year, the reason why it feels like so much is coming out this year is it's 2 years worth of Marvel stuff stacked on top of each other. So there was some weird shots of Eternals, like someone on a horse, and some Game of Thrones actors standing around in a circle, and Angelina Jolie with like a light sword. I don't know what's going on. I know nothing about the comics. The fact that I know nothing about the comics, I know for a fact, if you go and ask a normie on the street and say, hey, have you heard of the Eternals? They're going to be like, what? I think it's Marvel's biggest gamble. And you know what's funny is I said the exact same thing about Guardians of the Galaxy back when that came out and Ant-Man. Both times I was like, when Guardians 1 came out, I was adamant. I was like, this is going to be Marvel's first flop. I think a lot of people thought that. Because everyone was like, who are they? Who are the Guardians? And now they're beloved. And then same thing with Ant-Man. I was like, Ant-Man? There's no way they're going to make that palatable for normies. That's going to flop. And it didn't. Yeah, it's one of the lesser grossing of the Marvel films, but it still made money. And I think it brought the character into the limelight more. I think it boosted the sales of his comics. For both, actually, Guardians and Ant-Man. But something tells me that Eternals is going to be different this time. And I think the reason why is the difference with Guardians and Ant-Man was in the back of everyone's mind, we knew that all of this was going somewhere. We knew that the long-term story goal of this whole thing, the Infinity Saga, was the endgame with Thanos. We know it was all leading there to one big goal. But now that that's over, I feel like Marvel's just kind of spinning its wheels. There's no overarching narrative. They're just kind of throwing everything at the wall now and seeing what sticks. So for a decade, you could put the word Marvel on anything and people will go see it because they figured, well, basically every movie has a hint to another movie, and all of those important details end up being important later. So that's exactly why they slotted Captain Marvel in where it was slotted in, which was the movie right before Endgame. I guarantee you that movie would not have made as much as it did if it was not the movie before Endgame. And we'll see with the second one. I don't think it's going to even come close to the gross of the first one. And of course it'll be blamed on COVID, but I don't think that's the case. I just don't know if there was that much interest in their character. I mean, look at the comic sales for Captain Marvel. They're not great. Anyway, with Eternals, like the Infinity Saga's done, so I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't heard a single person that's excited. Tell me in the comments. Are you excited at all about Eternals? Does it look interesting to you? Because I am not really interested in it. And then they affirmed that it was November 5th for that, so that's already 3 films. And interspersed between this, there was another message that says, "What the future brings will be worth the wait." And there was a shot of Kumail Nanjiani from Eternals. Again, I just don't have any interest in it. And then the third Spider-Man film, December 17th. So that's 4. And that's not even counting the shows that have yet to be released this year. There might be as many things releasing this year from Marvel as there was in like all of Phase 3. It's kind of insane. I'll count them up after this and see if it is. And then it showed Doctor Strange 2, which is March 25th of next year. That was supposed to come out this year, but COVID ruined it. It was supposed to come out right after WandaVision, which makes sense because they were supposed to be tied in together. And then another movie that I feel kind of about, Thor Love and Thunder, which is the 4th Thor, May 6th of next year. I don't know, we'll see. And then the movie that is just baffling, that is still, that I don't know how they're going to do it, is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And I have the feeling that name changed. I mean, originally the placeholder was just Black Panther 2, but how do you call it that? And also, if you noticed, the word Black Panther is really small, and then the words Wakanda Forever are really big. The whole tragedy with Chadwick Boseman, it's really unfortunate what happened. And like I care more about what happened with him and his family and all that than just a movie that will be ruined by. Like, I don't think that's important when it comes, like, at the end of the day. But obviously Disney's a company, they're in it to make money, so they had to do something. And I for sure thought they were going to cancel it. Because how do you make a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? Well, this is how you do it. I guess somehow they're going to just explore more of Wakanda with the side characters. I don't know. Maybe they'll make Shuri Black Panther like in the comics. There was rumors that Eric Killmonger's coming back, which would be stupid. I don't know. I didn't think the first movie was very good, to be honest. Nothing against the actors, nothing against Chadwick. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I just didn't think it was that great. So we'll see. That's kind of insane that that's even being made still. And then Captain Marvel 2, in November of next year, called The Marvels, because it's going to have Carol Danvers and Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel, and I guess she's being introduced in her own show this year. So, again, I don't know. I feel like the audience for that their audience is going to shrink drastically. You don't have your heavy hitters anymore, like Iron Man, Cap, Hulk, Thor. Well, you still got Thor, but... And then Ant-Man is... like, I don't even know why they tell you dates that are like more than a year out. It's kind of pointless, I think, because anything. I mean, look what happened with Chadwick. Like, they planned that movie, and then this tragedy befell them, and it's like, why do you plan these things so far ahead? Ant-Man 3. I hope it's good. I love the character. I just wish his movies were more memorable. I forget all the time that there's a second Ant-Man. It's just a shame that the movies aren't more memorable. Guardians 3 is probably the one that I'm most interested in, because the first 2 are some of my favorite movies in the MCU. The first one might be in like my top 3. And then the whole thing that happened with James Gunn, where he was going to do it, and then he got fired, and then he got hired by Warner Brothers to make Suicide Squad, and then he got rehired for this. So I'm happy that he's getting to close out his trilogy. I have no idea what it's going to be about. Probably something to do with, what's his face? The guy that they teased at the end of the second one? Adam Warlock? I don't know. And then the one that has no date on it, it's just a big blue 4, which everyone knows what that means. It's just at some point in the future, there will be Fantastic Four by Marvel Studios. And hopefully, finally, Marvel's first family will get the respect and the care it deserves, because all the live-action adaptations have been terrible. So who knows when that'll be out, and who will play the main characters. I still haven't seen the one from 2015. And then they close out the video just saying, "See you at the movies." So it's just more of a PSA video more than anything else. They didn't really announce anything new here, but except this is just the movies. And I went and looked up the TV stuff that's coming out of Disney Plus, and there's still quite a bit of that. Here's a list I found. So we already had WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier this year, which they were originally supposed to be out last year. And then we still got Loki, What If, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, the Guardians Holiday Special, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, some kind of Wakanda series, and then this was the first time I heard of this Untitled Echoes series. No clue what that is. But that is... Well, and look at all the ones that are in this year. If you count just the ones this year, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 series on Disney Plus alone. And then how many movies this year? What was it? 4? Black Panther, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Eternal. Yeah. So that's 10 Marvel things this year. That's insane. A new record. Because at most we were getting 3 films, but with this now you got 4 films plus 2 years worth of shows. So that's pretty insane. I just hope that their quality doesn't just go down and down and down and down and down because they're spreading themselves too thin. I don't know, we'll see. There's only a few things in here that I'm actually interested in too, like the movies. Like, I'll watch Loki. I have no interest in Miss Marvel or She-Hulk. This holiday special could be fun. The only ones I really care about are Moon Knight is definitely number 1. Hawkeye, I'll watch. Armor Wars and Secret Invasion. Everything else, I can take it or leave it, I guess. I don't know, I just feel like there's just so much less going on now with the MCU now that the Infinity Saga's done. From here on out, I think it's going to be diminishing returns. I mean, it doesn't have to go on forever. There's things can end. In fact, things should end. It's like TV shows that just... It's like The Walking Dead. We used to watch that a lot, and then it started getting crap, and they just keep going with it, and they're just... Because they're making money off it still. Some things just need to end when on a high note, when they're still good. But if they're going to insist on keep going, hopefully there's some gems here and there. I'm not expecting anything amazing, but we'll see how it all shakes out. What is your most anticipated things from Phase 4 for Marvel? Is it from the selection of movies, or are you looking forward to more something from the TV series? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any interest in Eternals, I would like to know, because I don't think I've met a single person that cares or is even looking forward to that movie. So if you're one of the 5 people, let me know in the comments. But that's really all I got for this weird announcement from Marvel. So thank you for watching.